So I'm going to try to talk about some comics. I've got a lot of number ones and a few things that I believe are probably about to go to trade. You guys that do this on YouTube make it seem so much easier than it actually is. I guess I read too many comics, I don't know. But I read Hexed, number 1 from Boom Studios. Was really good. Has a traditional horror take. Boom does some really good comics. Really makes me want to read Witches when it comes out in October. Read Wayward, number 1. Also, this is from Image. You might see a million reviews of this, and all of them have different covers. There were apparently 14 covers on this book, but I like this one, I guess, the best. There were a couple of other good ones, but it's kind of a Buffy in Japan type of thing, and is really enjoyable. I'm a huge Buffy fan. Read Fade Out from Image. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. They did Fatale, which was really good. It's a noir story about Hollywood and the murders and all that type of thing. It was good cover to cover, even letter pages, and they give you a little extra story in the back that was really good. Read Devilers. Issue 1 was okay, it was pretty good. Issue 2 I liked even better. It's about a team of religious superheroes, I guess, that are having to team up to go and fight against the evil coming back on the earth. It's a Dynamite book. It's the manufacturer and not how good it was, but Dynamite makes pretty decent titles. It doesn't seem like they make that many titles because I don't read that much Dynamite, but Devilers number 2 was really good. Read Low number 1. A lot of the books, a couple of books I read this week seemed like they had this washed out watercolor thing going on. Devilers was one, Low was one. This is by Remeter, who does the Black Science, also does Deadly Class 1987, which both are really good. This book was a lot like Black Science, just a little bit of a different setting. He does a really good family story with a lot of action mixed in to keep you turning the pages. It's a lot like Black Science. As soon as I got done with this, I just wanted another issue of it. Unfortunately, I got shorted on number 2 at the shop. Squitters, another book that kind of had that washed out feel to it. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Sean Murphy too, but I didn't like issue 1 on Squitter. Issue 2 was a lot better. Turns out that it's a pretty traditional sci-fi story, and I really enjoyed this issue. It's written and drawn by Ben Willingsmith, and that's an awful lot of work. Maybe that first issue was a little rushed. But Sensation Comics Wonder Woman number 1. I believe that all these are going to be one-shots. This was great. It's Gail Simone with Ethan Van Schreiber doing the art, the color by Hi-Fi, which is great. It was kind of the art on it was really good. It was like if you took George Perez and you digitally remastered him, you would end up with this art. A lot of the stuff seemed like it was pre-52. You got to see like Oracle in here. all the costumes were pre-52. They changed up a lot of the costumes when they came to the 52. It was good to see Joker in like a Killing Joke outfit, and Harley in her clown suit. I don't really like Harley's outfit in the new 52. Got Outcast by Image. I don't really like Walking Dead. This is also a Kirkman title. The first two issues were a little slow. This one picked up a little bit, so I'm interested to see where it's going to go. Grayson from DC. For being a book that I don't know anybody that does anything on this book, writes it, colors it, draws it, inks it, anything, it's a really good book. They make a really good book together. I'm a little disappointed that it's going to jump to Future's End and be 5 years ahead, but that might turn out alright. It'll come back. The Woods, Jason Timlin IV. This book just keeps getting better and better. It's one of my favorite things that I'm reading, maybe. It's really strange. Everything's starting to make a little more sense. It just gives you little just morsels every issue that make it just a little bit better than the last one. But Trees from Image. Warren Ellis. The story's going a little slow. It's really pretty. Jason Howard does a great job. It's a really pretty comic. Just hoping that this story will pick up a little bit. But it's only issue 4. It's Warren Ellis. Love Warren Ellis, so it'll probably pick up. I'm not going to stop buying it. It's an Image comic. They're only $2.99. Also from Image, another Warren Ellis, Supreme Blue Rose. This book is odd. The art in it is gorgeous. I spent the whole first issue trying to figure out why you would draw squiggle marks over it. Why some of the panels didn't make sense with the panels around them. This issue kind of explained that to me. It's really nice. Really, really liked it. Just a hint. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's my Supreme Blue Rose #1. Make sure you check your comics before you leave the comic shop, because that's really disappointing that it's ripped halfway through the issue. Stuff that's fixing to come out in trade pretty soon. I read Dream Thief Escape. This is a second Dream Thief series. This one's on issue 3 of 4. It's by Dark Horse. The first series really explained what was going on. Basically what's going on is this mass shows up. It takes over your body whenever you fall asleep. You wake up with a murdered body in your lap, and then you have to figure out why you have a murdered body in your lap. And it's basically because you're being possessed by dead people that want revenge on the living, and they use your body to do it. It's really enjoyable. Jay Nitz that does that, I hope he gets a lot of work, because that series is really good. Injustice, it's issue 10 of year 2. The first one, Gods Among Us, should be out in trade. It was 10 issues, so I'm assuming that since this is issue 10, that this is probably pretty close to being done. It's a really good comic. For being based on a video game, it kind of takes place outside of the regular New 52 DC universe, and so it doesn't get tied in with anything else. It's his own story. Legendary Steampunk Adventures. This is issue 6 of 7, so there should probably be a trade out on it pretty soon. This book's great. It reimagines a lot of characters that you know in a steampunk setting. You got Red Sonja, Vampirilla, Flash Gordon, Green Hornet, Kato, Zorro, a lot of different people. You can see Red Sonja there on the cover. The last couple of issues, she finally went from being like a whiny little girl to being the She-Devil, which I love. Things that I didn't really care much for. Bodies by Vertigo. The story is really confusing to me. It jumps around all over the place. Hopefully in the next couple of issues maybe they'll explain to me why the people in the future can't remember and what that has to do with anything. This is it's an 8-issue series. It's issue 2, so I may end up dropping that and going to trade on it. Buy a lot of Vertigo in trade. New Suicide Squad from DC. Didn't really care for it. I really wanted to like this book. I like the old Suicide Squad. I like everybody that's in here. Was excited to see Joker's daughter getting a book, especially around Harley, and that's just kind of annoying to me. Scott Hanna is maybe the only reason I'll stick around on this. I like Scott Hanna as an inker. He did some stuff on Fantastic Four. He's done some other stuff in DC. I would really like it if he could become like an actual artist on something. And I read Multiversity, which really didn't care for. It's Grant Morris and Ivan Reyes. I can't believe I didn't care for it, but it reminded me way too much of the Crisis on Infinite Earth, which is, I love that story. But anyway, that's my stuff. And if you like it, subscribe. I'll probably update every couple of weeks, and like I say in the other video, I read a lot of books, so maybe some stuff you don't read. And leave me a comment, and I'll answer you back on anything.